Good
Hello.
good morning. It's Arwen. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh,
How are you
awesome.
doing?
I'm doing well. Everyone, I'm talking to Judy. And Judy, tell me your last name because I have butchered it three ways to Sunday.
uh, Mastrangelo.
Mastrangelo, thank you so much. I kept trying to throw an extra A and E in there because I'm from Louisiana, so I try to make everything a little more French than it is.
I like the way you say Louisiana.
Well, I tell people it was named after King Louis and Queen Anna, not King Louise.
Okay. uh, well, you sound like such a friendly person. It's a delight to talk to you. Thank you for inviting me to be interviewed. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for agreeing. You're such a wonderful artist, and I've seen your art online, and of course, I have decks of yours from U.S. Games and other places. Your art is just mesmerizing. It takes me to another world.
Oh,
So,
well, thank you. That's my intention. Appreciate that.
well, I really, truly am joyful for that you have given me this time to talk to you about this, and I want to dive right in. And everybody, what I want you to know about Judy is that her artwork is something you want to put on your walls. That's the one drawback on the cards I get. I'm like, oh, I want to frame this, and I'm like, but then I need another deck. So,
Yeah.
but you can get things on Judy's. You have a website, correct? You have a place where people can.
Right. Right. I have two websites actually. The first one is my original website, themysticalvisions.com, where you can see my entire portfolio on there. And my newer website is judymastrangelo.com, and on there you can see all the news, the interviews. You can sign up for my newsletter,
Oh, cool.
and I've been doing different podcasts, which has been a lot of fun. So it's a whole new world out there. Plus, I've done quite a few ebooks, and you could see information about that and my mural line, and also, of course, my card deck that I partnered with my friend Francis Monroe in the UK. So that's been a wonderful thing, and we're working on our second deck now. We're very excited about that.
Awesome, awesome. And I have a deck that Francis did, the Woodland Fairies. Woodland,
Right.
yeah,
Right. That was with a British artist. Yes,
yeah,
and that really looks lovely too. That was her first deck with US Games. She's
yeah.
a lovely person.
She seems very nice. I love her writing in it, and she's very spiritual, and that
Yes, she
comes
is.
through in the writing. So that's
Yes.
I think important for people.
Yes. I met her when I was invited to be a featured artist in the UK at a fairy festival a few years ago, and we both had adjoining booths at the festival, and we just bonded. We really got along, and she gave me a reading, which was a lot of fun, and then we decided to do a deck together, and it's been a wonderful adventure. Really is.
Wonderful. And there's nothing like bonding at a festival. Those people who've never gone and vended, you don't
Yes.
realize how close you can get with your neighbors. And uh,
Right.
it's like a tiny village pops up and then it goes away, but you stay friends. And if you do other festivals, I found that I would see the same people, and
Yes.
you network. It's a nice thing.
Yes, definitely.
Now, Judy, I want to know who or what is your creative muse?
Well, number one, I would definitely say my dear husband Michael is my very special creative muse. He's given me so much inspiration with his spirituality, wisdom, and his love for life. And we just have a wonderful life together.
Oh,
So we're very lucky to have found each other. And I also am spurred on by my contemporary artist friends and my love of the great artists of the past that I admired tremendously. I consider them my teachers,
oh yeah.
and I often study their masterpieces. And I love nature and all the fine arts of music, dance, literature, and drama. when I see ballerinas, they remind me of beautiful flying fairies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I love to paint ballerinas and male ballet dancers, and I'm constantly inspired every day, even by the smallest things, such as the little birds and squirrels outside our kitchen window who come to feed. They're right outside now looking for breakfast. And the fact of life itself is so beautiful. That's my creative muse.
That's just wonderful. I tell people constantly that joy comes in very small things, and you need to keep alert so that you can build it up. And it sounds like you do that very well.
Oh, definitely. I don't need a lot to be happy, you know, just being with my husband and nature, and I just love art, being surrounded by all kinds of art, and that's so inspiring to me.
Oh, that's beautiful. Now, we talked a little bit about your most recent project, but let's talk a little bit more. Let's go a little more in depth into uh, your project. I actually did a review on this deck, so I'll put a
Yes,
link
yes,
for
I
that too
saw it.
for people.
Yes, yes, I saw that. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, I've always loved inspirational decks, and as I said, asked Frances if she'd be interested in creating one with me, and I was delighted when she agreed to this. And so Frances was guided to select 44 of my paintings, and then she provided the wisdom to channel the direction and accompanying words for each painting. And that's how our card deck, Inspirational Wisdom from Angels and Fairies, was its own message in the guidebook, which accompanies the deck, as well as an exercise, a prayer, or an affirmation for you to do, which Frances wrote. And it's been very well received from what I understand. And thank you also, Owen, for working with it also and reviewing it. And I channel my paintings in my own personal way. They appear to me as dreamlike images and visions, so to speak, and I feel they come from my deepest hopes and fantasies. And Frances Monroe is inspired to paint with words,
Hmm.
and the messages flow from her just as my visions grow and blossom in my mind like flowers. So we're a great team working together, and we're both on the same wavelength. So I'll just quote Frances here. Channeled inspiration is the source of each part of this deck. So inspired wisdom from angels and fairies could be the only title. The cards bring wisdom and understanding in a unique way, and those who use the deck will feel the love that was used in creating them. It's been an exciting project, and we're proud to be part of it.
And
So that's what she said.
yeah, I think that's very true about the love. The deck is very gentle. It's very honest and open. And I just think it's a really nice deck for people. I used it for one of my oracles on one of my Terrascope weeks, and people really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you. I'm so delighted, and it's really fun. As I said, now I'm finishing up the artwork for the second deck, and hopefully it'll be able to be launched in INATS next year. That's the
Ooh,
International New Age Trade Show. I think it's in Colorado around
it
April.
is.
Yeah, so we're really excited about it. It'll be something new and refreshing.
How awesome. Now, do you have a certain ritual before you begin your work? Any things that you do to get yourself in that state?
Right. Well, I have a special process of creating an original work of art, which I practice even before I put my paintbrush to canvas. I first go into what I call a mind painting state, which is something I've developed in order to enhance my ability to conceive of and create a painting. It's my own personal method of originating ideas and images for my artwork.
Hmm.
I usually practice this when I make some time to myself where I can relax and dream about my ideas. This could be during the daylight hours or at night before going to sleep. I close my eyes, which is often helpful. Sometimes meditating on something like a flower, clouds, or water is also a very good way to bring forth imaginative visions from the beautiful treasures we all store in our unconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's similar to the method of scrying, such as looking into a crystal ball to see what will appear. So when I start visualizing these amazing images, I try to practice holding them as a master image in my mind, and it can serve as an inspiration for a new painting. And initially, an idea will come to me about something I would like to do, and it might be inspired by a beautiful flower sunset or an amazing work of a great master artist. Then I relax and daydream in order to see the images which I feel would best express my idea. It's like watching a movie when these imaginative pictures
Mm-hmm.
appear. So I was first aware of seeing these visions when I was young. I don't mean visions like a thing. I mean just images in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
The trick was to be able to control the parade of images. And I had to focus my mind on the overall main image that I was trying to develop. At first, the mind pictures were very fleeting and chaotic, and they seemed to dance around in my mind. And sometimes they first appear as abstract forms, which then magically transform into amazing pictures. It's like when you start to fall asleep and dreams begin to appear. And really, many painters in the past have developed some wonderful procedures along these lines also. So, and then after I have the mind vision of a painting I'd like to create, the whole process begins of bringing it into reality on canvas so that others can see it also and participate in my vision. So it's so much fun. And anybody could try it.
That's amazing. Now, I know you said you have ebooks. Is this something you discuss in one of your ebooks?
Yes, I
Good.
have a book called Painting Fairies and Other Fantasies, and that discusses my whole procedure of mind painting, and I also did a series of teaching podcasts,
Oh, good.
which is on YouTube, which simplifies the whole process. And you can go to my website, judymastrangelo.com, and you could see the links for the podcasts and see information about that book also. I worked on it for a number of years, and I was glad to finally get it into an ebook so that people can appreciate it.
Yeah, it sounds like something that I think a lot of people would like to take a look at. So I'm definitely going to put some links in the drop down, y'all. And you've been seeing Judy's beautiful work go by as you're listening to this interview. So you can see how wonderfully her technique works for her. Now,
Yeah,
now,
it's a labor of love. Believe me, it is.
oh, it's wonderful. Thank you for sharing it. Now,
Oh, sure.
Judy, what's on your working table now? What do you got going for us?
Well, presently I'm working on some new children's books, and one of them is to a famous poem, which is in the public domain, and another is a little story that I wrote myself. And I'm also working on some fairy and fantasy paintings, that's my favorite thing to do. And as I said, I'm also creating artwork for the second inspirational card deck with Francis. And I've painted many themes uh, in my career, from abstract to figurative landscapes, florals. But really, the realm of fantasy art, and in particular the theme of fairies, is a world I really enjoy at this point of life. So I find fairyland a delightful place to be. I enjoy manifesting it on canvas and inviting others to join me in visiting these lands. So, and from what I understand, in reaction to others, they enjoy it too. And it could be for any age. It's not just for the young. It's for the young at heart.
Yeah, and I think that fairies are important because it keeps us, like you said, young, and it keeps us imaginating. That's not a word.
Yeah, whatever.
But it keeps
Sure.
and your paintings open up this doorway that you can step into, and they're so lush. The scenes, the colors, you really you put yourself in those scenes when you're looking at them. And I tell people that a lot of these oracle decks, I love taking cards and using them for meditative purposes, and
Yes.
moving myself in and interacting with the figures in the cards. And it's really nice
Oh,
that
yeah.
you do that.
Oh, definitely. And I work with a company called Magic Murals who have created some wall murals of my artwork, so the painting fills up the whole wall.
Oh,
And I've actually never seen it live, but to actually be in a room with these huge paintings of my work, you're really into it, and must be a wonderful experience. So you can actually walk into a painting.
oh, how wonderful. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. We'll try to put a link to that also. Now, what's the
Yeah.
most challenging thing about the work you do?
Well, one of the most challenging things is to find time in each day to do everything I want to do. I have so many projects going on all at once. It would really take me several lifetimes to complete them. I wish there were more hours in the day. And I'm very careful with my painting, and I try to do the best I'm capable of. It's a real labor of love, and I'm my worst critic. So I work hard at it, and also challenge. So much of the news we hear about the world events today is extremely depressing, and of course
Hmm.
I'm saddened by all that's happening. But I feel generally optimistic about life in the future, and I believe there's an intrinsic good in people, and eventually it will prevail. But the challenge is to try to keep your head above water and to keep on creating. But I have a mission to share my vision with others and to myself. And I try to see the best in people and hold on to my belief that basically all people have an innate goodness. So I try to appeal to the heart of goodness of mankind, and I guess
Hmm.
I'll say womankind, but they're all together,
Yeah.
and to keep an air of happiness and a sense of humor and joyfulness in my art despite all setbacks. And at times it's a real challenge to do that.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I liked the darker, more morose art forms, like the German Expressionists. But I must say I don't enjoy this anymore at my present stage of life, and to view that period of art actually uh, depresses me, so I stay away from it. But I wouldn't
Hmm.
want to deter anybody else from appreciating this
Right.
emotional period. Everybody's tastes change, and um, so I try to paint more light and happy kind of artwork that makes people, optimistic. I try to tend to harken back to nostalgia and goodness of youth and the awestruck feelings of childhood that are within all of us, in which we never forget. We never forget. I've been told my art brings happiness, and that's extremely gratifying to me. And when I was young and in my formative years as an artist, I used to stare at a blank canvas, just wondering how to begin a painting. What do I do? It's scary.
Yeah.
But today I have no problem at all in this respect. There's so many things I want to do which are swimming around in my head. I have no problem starting it all.
And that's awesome. As a writer, sometimes the hardest thing is that first page, and I've
Oh, yes.
learned that you just have to start writing. And somebody once told me to give yourself permission to write junk because nobody's going to read that first draft. That's yours, and you can go back and make it better. So,
Right. Well, as I said, when I start with the mind painting, it's in my head, the image of what I'm going to paint, or if I'm going to write a book. The image is there, and it becomes exciting. You want to You want to make it a reality. And so having it there, and you're excited to manifest it, so you have no writer's block or painter's block. You're just excited to start. So
Exactly.
that's my trick.
Now, what's the most rewarding thing? We talked about challenge. Let's talk about what the fun, what the good is that you get from it.
Okay. I love when people are inspired and uplifted in a joyful way by viewing my artwork. And I'm delighted to hear when they too are inspired to create paintings expressing their dreams and personal feelings, such as when they read my book, Painting Fairies and Other Fantasies. It's such a fulfilling experience, and it's very rewarding for me to endeavor to develop my feelings of spirituality and goodness and love for life and nature. I try to share this with others. I also enjoy showing the healing power of art, both to yourself and to others. It's a great therapy and a wonderful way to release your emotions, visions, and desires, and it's also very calming. So, in my process of mind painting that I told you about, I also try to visualize how I myself want to be, the better me, and how I can improve myself. So these possibilities are endless and exciting for everyone. I think we can all be leaders of our own destiny if we put an effort into fulfilling our dreams and not just waiting for things to fall in our laps. So it's a wonderful experience.
Awesome, awesome. And I love that about being leaders of our own destiny because we
Yes,
definitely need to take charge of our own lives and
right.
don't sit
And
back.
it really makes you feel good
Right, right, because
about
you've
yourself too.
done something. Yeah. It's like building a house. You've done something with your own energy.
Right.
Yeah,
And you find your talents, you see what you love to do, and you just go on, and it's very exciting and fulfilling.
exactly, exactly. Now, Judy, thank you so much for all the time you've given us. I wanted to go into the last question. I hate to say it's the last question because I've really enjoyed chatting with you. But what is a piece of advice you'd offer to someone who wanted to be creative as well?
Well, the first thing is find a genre of art that you really love, and then work very hard to develop your talent to be able to create that type of work. It does take a lot of effort, but if you really love it, you will experience tremendous journey in your artistic journey. You would experience tremendous joy in your artistic journey. I myself am always learning and developing my artwork. I feel that my painting is always in need of improvement, and I find inspiration from looking at the work of great artists of the past. By looking at these amazing masters, I'm constantly awed by their paintings, and I'm encouraged to develop my own talent to the fullest. And I also suggest that you try to become friends with those in the artistic community of the art you like the most. Some of these people might be newcomers to that field too, and you can share stories of your trials and tribulations. And you could also be lucky enough to communicate with successful artists in that genre whose work you really admire. Sometimes these well-known artists might have some time to be in communication with their fans and give them encouragement and advice. And being an artist is a wonderful occupation, but if you don't love it enough to devote a lot of time into refining your talents, you might not succeed to your greatest. But I must caution you that sometimes often, it is difficult to make a living from being an artist. Believe me. Personally, I prefer to paint paintings that I love and not themes which I don't enjoy. And at times, you might be commissioned to create a painting which does not fit into your list of favorite things. So I do my best to work on art that has that is something I enjoy, so that it's a labor of love. So I keep to those standards, but of course all artists are able to do this. And that's very understandable since, you have to make a living in order to eat and put a roof over your head. But when there's a will, there's a way, and you have to believe in yourself to make the correct choices in finding the best road to both success in your career and be happy doing it. So be true and honest with yourself, and things will develop for you.
Beautiful.
The love of art is a tremendous joy, and it's very inspiring to study the great works of art created through the ages. You'll discover all kinds of art that you really love and which will resonate to your personal soul, and it will give you a lifetime of enjoyment and inspiration, I promise you.
That is absolutely beautiful. Judy, thank you. This has been a very inspiring and uplifting interview. I can't tell you how enjoyable this has been. I know.
Oh, well, thank you. Butter me up.
No, it's no butter
You're
there.
so kind. You're very kind.
But thank you very, very much for your time.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's been a delight.
Absolutely.
For me, too.
Well, I'm going to end our call now, and then I'm going to, for everybody that watches this channel, you'll be able to click all of the links in the drop-down. I'll have links to her page, links to get her books, links to see her decks. Everything Judy will be down, and Frances, because Frances is the other side of this. So it will be in the drop-down that y'all can access that. And thank you again very much. And as I tell everybody, seek joy, Judy, and have a great day.
And you too, my dear friend.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.